What's up, guys? It is Frankie here. It is week 14 of the 2021 NFL season. It's time to make some predictions. We are going to pick every game except for the Bills-Buccaneers game because the Bills haven't played yet. Other than that, here are the games for week 14. This Thursday night game, the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are 3.5-point favorites. The Vikings just lost to the Lions, which is, it was bound to happen, but that's about as low as it can get for your team. I don't know why I took Minnesota last week. Other than I should have told myself, Kirk Cousins, don't do it. Don't bet on Kirk Cousins. And so, the Viking season is just free falling here. Pittsburgh, they beat Baltimore, so I give them that. But the offense was really bad for the first half, and then eventually they got going there in the second half. This is two teams that are pretty much out of it at this point, I think, in my opinion. So, or not out of it, but yeah, they don't look like they're going to the playoffs. I'll take Pittsburgh here. It's 3.5 points, and again, the Vikings just lost to the Lions, so that is good reason to bet the Steelers here. 3.5 points, why the heck not? Give me the Steelers plus 3.5. The Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are a 1.5 favorite, and I don't, for the life of me, understand why. I know the Ravens just lost yesterday. I honestly, in the moment, I was one of the few people I was not okay with the 2-point conversion. In the moment, I'm just like, just kick the field, just kick the extra point. But they wanted to let Lamar cook. They wanted to let Lamar win the game. Didn't. Mark Andrews just could not reach it here. You can also blame the Ravens defense for not being able to stop Pittsburgh there in the fourth quarter. They allowed scores on 3 straight drives. The offense, 4 straight games where they've been held under 20 points. First time it's happened since 2013-14. So I know the Ravens are starting to free fall here. I know that a little bit. I know Lamar, after 4 interceptions last week, and he did have the second red zone interception of his career yesterday as well. So I know that there are still problems. But we're really taking them over the Browns, who I guess the Browns are coming off a bye. But the Browns' offense looks terrible. Baker Mayfield looks like he can't throw the ball right now, like more than 10 yards down the field. It's the Baltimore was the first team 2 weeks ago to win a game even after its quarterback threw 4 picks. That game last week was torture to watch. Ravens-Browns was absolute torture. I cannot believe that was the Sunday night game. Shame on everybody for making that the game. I know that they didn't know that was going to happen beforehand, but wow, that was trash. Pure trash. Cleveland can still make the playoffs here, but their offense is so anemic and so dead right now that I really don't see a reason in betting them, even though I guess they're at home. Lamar can't be this bad this often. The Ravens can't be this bad this often. So I'm hoping that Lamar is able to turn it around. He got sacked a lot as well yesterday, 7 times. So they got to get Lamar back into the group. I think this is the chance to do it against a reeling Cleveland team. Both of these teams are reeling a little bit right now, but I just feel like Baltimore is the better team. I feel like Baltimore is destined to break out of this. So I think in this game, Baltimore will do that. Baltimore will come alive, and Baltimore will win it. Give me the Ravens plus 1.5. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 10.5-point favorites. Jacksonville, that was, their season's already over anyway, but gosh, they are now looking, the Jaguars are once again competing now for the top draft pick. It's them, it's Houston, it's Detroit. It is a big time battle here for the first draft pick, and yeah, they rolled over against the Rams, so, credit to there for not even trying in that instance. You can't even ask for 10 points from them. It's just, wow. I have nothing good to say about Jacksonville. Urban Meyer, get the heck out of there. You've made a terrible mistake. They made a terrible mistake hiring you, I think. Tennessee, not last week, coming off, where was it, or whenever it was that they played, I can't remember. Yeah, that's right, they're out of bye. Coming off a tough loss to New England. Even though New England is really showing how good they are right now, people are starting to believe in New England. Just problems here with Tennessee, mostly on turnovers. They've had at least 4 turnovers in back-to-back games, first time since 2015. 9 turnovers but 0 takeaways. You had Dontrell Hill and Deontay Freeman trying to make up for Derrick Henry, and both of them had a lot of the fumbles there. And think about it. In the last 2 weeks, 3 turnovers by the 2 running backs. That's 1 more than Henry had over the 597 carries he's had at the beginning of last season. Since the beginning of last season. You got to hope that they're able to run the ball more. You got to hope that they stop turning the ball over. They're running out of guys to use. There's a lot of injuries. You still don't have A.J. Brown back. We don't think we're going to have Julio Jones there. Derrick Henry's not coming back. It's just Tennessee is running out of guys to have on this team. They're running out of chances to make it to the playoffs. However, they're taking on Jacksonville. They're taking on one of the worst teams in the league. And if there is a chance, if there's a time to come alive here, if it was time for Tannehill to show what he can do, it's this game. So 10.5 is a big number, especially when you're looking at who's scoring the points here for Tennessee. I guess you're just hoping that Tannehill's able to do it, and you're able to hope that the running attack. I mean, the running attack did have 270 yards against New England, so that's what you're hoping for here is that the running attack can carry you. And I'm going to say in this game, I think they will. And it's also Jacksonville, so it's tough to bet on them in that sense. I'm going to say Tennessee pulls it off. 10.5 points. It's a big number, especially for a Tennessee team that has been struggling. But I think they are against a really bad Jacksonville team. And I think Tannehill's going to be able to pull something out here in this game. Let's just hope they don't turn the ball over in this case. Give me the Titans minus 10.5. The Las Vegas Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 8.5-point favorites. Look, I've been giving the Raiders a bunch of credit for hanging in there, being able to, despite all the terribleness that they've had to deal with this season, that they've been able to hang in, try to make the playoffs. But they're an up and down team here, and they looked so weak compared to what they did against Dallas. Like, they really, they were playing aggressive against Dallas on Thanksgiving. They really had a good showing on the offensive side. They were really making plays. And then in this game, they really weren't. I mean, they were averaging, in the first half of this game, Derek Carr averaged 4.5 yards per attempt. And then in the second half, he got better with 10.5. But I was wanting to see that aggressive Raiders football, and they never really did it there. And someone had to win this one. Washington got the field goal there at the end. And so you were thinking that maybe Jack Del Rio, solid job by Jack Del Rio there, making sure that Carr couldn't make enough big plays. Jack Del Rio, of course, Washington's defensive coordinator. So Del Rio played a good game there. Kansas City, they're back. Kansas City is back, folks. We were wondering what it was going to take. When they were going to be the Chiefs that we know. And okay, fine. The offense, underachieving. They've topped 20 points for just the second time in their 5-game winning streak. So it's not the total Kansas City dynamic performance. They are thankful that the defense has really stepped up and picked up a bad offense here. But they're winning. They're winning games and they're covering spreads. And so that is helpful here. Even though it wasn't the dynamic way that we've been used to seeing Kansas City win, they did it here. They're 8.5 points. They won it. What was the spread? 9-10, and they won it by 13. They did need the pick six to do it in that game. They've now won 5 straight, 2 against opponents leading their divisions. So they've been able to hang in there despite their offense not being what we've expected. And Mahomes, the turnovers, the penalties, there have been a real problem with Kansas City's offense, and I don't understand what the issue is. Maybe the league has figured it out. But they're winning games, and so I shouldn't be complaining too much. They're winning games, and that is mostly in part to a great defense. The defense that really struggled at the beginning of the year. That is what's been the difference between Kansas City losing games and winning games here so far. The offense has been pretty average throughout, but the defense has really stepped up here in the second half. I'm going to say it happens here in this game. Even though it is the divisional matchup, and I can see the Raiders pulling something out here. It's surprising us, but is Kansas City going to turn around here? Are they eventually going to figure it out? Are they eventually going to turn it around? And I can see the defense stepping up again and taking out Derek Carr here. So 8.5 points. I'm liking Kansas City in this matchup, and they're at home. The Raiders are 2 on and off for me to trust them here. Now that I'm thinking about it, it does seem like a very appealing Raiders matchup because this could be a close game because of Kansas City's lack of offensive firepower. But I'm going to say in this game, Kansas City finds a way, gets it done, and wins it. Give me the Chiefs, minus 8.5. The New Orleans Saints and the New York Jets. These Saints are 6-point favorites. The Saints lost to Dallas there. They had a reeling Dallas team, so you're thinking maybe they could pull something out here now, but the injuries have just killed this team. The Jets just 6 straight losing seasons, a drought that has spanned 3 different coaches. There's just I can't imagine watching this Jets team anymore, but I have to because I'm from the local area. I have nothing good to say at all. It's just a bad season. Bad era for the Jets. I can't believe. Remember when Mark Sanchez took the Jets to 2 straight AFC Championship games? What the heck happened since then? Give me the Saints, 6 points. It's the Jets. Give me the Saints minus 6. The Dallas Cowboys and the Washington to be determines. The Cowboys are 5-point favorites. Dallas desperately needed that win against New Orleans. They needed to get something going. After all the struggles that they've had here, Mike McCarthy not at the game because of COVID. They needed to pull something off on Thursday night, and they did in New Orleans, and they did it. Getting that win, getting the Dallas that we need here. They're getting guys back from injury. Solid performance from Dak. Even though he did force some plays, they didn't run the ball well, but they made some big plays on defense. He had the interception late in the game. They just pounded the ball. They just got it done. They got it going. They were able to figure out a way to get the win, and that's important. And now that you're gonna, I believe, have Mike McCarthy back, you're gonna have Dallas maybe in a better mood here, and they're gonna go up against a Washington team that I don't know how I feel about Washington because Washington is playing better. The defense is stepping up. They're overcoming some of the injuries, but I still don't know if I can totally trust here Washington. Taylor Heineke has been doing well enough, getting the wins. I mean, he did throw a pick in the fourth quarter Sunday, which was rough, but then eventually he got Washington to lead the winning drive. Crazy streak here for Washington. They've beaten Tampa Bay. They've won twice on the road, and really it's been thanks to the defense that after a terrible start to the year, really stepped up. And even though they don't have Landon Collins, they don't have Chase Young, they don't have Montez Sweat, they're playing physical. They're playing good. They're doing nice, and they don't have J.D. McKissic, but they're hanging in there. And they held the Raiders just under their total average. They have in their average in points and yards. They held the Raiders under that. So the defense has been stepping up here. I don't know if they can catch Dallas. They do play them twice in the next 3 weeks, so that's important. So these are big games for Washington here. But I think Dallas is a better team. I think Dallas is the better team on offense. And despite this team having a lot of injuries here, they're gonna have McCarthy back. And gosh, I think Zeke can go. I think Zeke's gonna go off in this game here. At least I hope so for my pick's sake. But I think Zeke's gonna be able to pull something off. I think Dallas is just gonna be in a better offensive state right now here in this game than Washington is. Bound to happen. Interesting game because there's Dallas on the road. I could see Washington pulling it out here, but I'm going to say Dallas gets the edge. Dallas has a better offensive showing, and maybe does something on defense here that stunts Washington's Taylor Heineke. But we'll see how it goes. I'm taking the Cowboys -5. The Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers are 3-point favorites. Atlanta tried against Tampa Bay. They hung in there, but they don't have enough to win. No matter how well they play, they don't have enough to win. And that is really Atlanta's motto here for the season. Carolina coming off a bye. I'm taking them to win this game. I'm really hoping that Cam show because I like Cam. I want to see Cam do well. But, gosh, this is his last chance. I feel like if he doesn't do well here, I feel like it's over for him. So I hope that he's able to show something here. Panthers are 3-point favorites. I'm rolling with the Panthers. You can't be that bad against Atlanta, can you? Give me the Panthers -3. The Seattle Seahawks and the Houston Texans. The Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites. The Texans are officially eliminated, so I don't care about them. Seattle did beat San Francisco, which is nice, but their season's already over. It looks, they're down to according to ESPN, like a 1% chance to make the playoffs. It's just been a bad year for them. But they got the win against San Francisco. They ruined that was one of my locks. So good job there, upsetting San Francisco there. I'm gonna say it's Houston. Their season, they're already checked out. Give me the Seahawks here, -7.5. The Detroit Lions and the Denver Broncos. The Lions finally won. Congratulations, they did it. And they played well against Minnesota. They played well the last few weeks. So let's hope that Detroit can, well for them, I should say. So let's hope that Detroit's able to figure something out here and move it going forward and be able to take all that and use it going forward. But gosh. Against Denver, though, who's also a bad team, offense doing nothing. Defense is playing well enough. I'm going to say the defense does well here. It's Detroit. 8.5 is a big number, though. That might be one I'm regretting. I'm taking Denver, though, because I think they're a slightly better team. Either way, don't bet this game. Give me the Broncos -8. The New York Giants and the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are 10.5-point favorites. Giants are done. Just please, I just want this season to be over. I want this ever to be over. I want Gettleman to be gone. I want them to think about probably moving on from Daniel Jones. Saquon, I mean, he is just, oh man, it's so bad watching Saquon. We had so much hope in Saquon, and he's just been ravaged by the injuries, and he just looks bad. And I hope maybe this is a lesson. Do not waste a first-round pick on a running back, unless his name is Ezekiel Elliott. Was Ezekiel Elliott first round? I think he was. If not, then whatever. For some reason, I feel like Ezekiel was first round. Either way, just rarely waste running backs on the first-round pick. Giants' offense is just awful at this point. I know they were with Mike Glennon. They are totally incompetent. I mean, they're averaging 18 points a game, and they couldn't even get to 10. 9 points, 250 total yards. They got to move on. They have to figure out what their future is here because it's not any of these guys they have on the roster right now, I feel like. Chargers just excelled against Cincinnati. They really played well here enough. Even though, they did have three straight drives with a turnover against Cincinnati. But before that, they delivered. They were up 24-6. I mean, it's weird what happened in that game. Herbert was sacked 4 times, he threw a pick. Austin Eckler had multiple fumbles, but they were able to pull it off because Campbell, big time game for him, returning that pick six. That really got them going in there. And Chargers looking decent here. Again, not the most impressive victory against Cincinnati because they didn't make a lot of mistakes, but they were able to figure it out. They were able to pull it out. They looked good for the most part, even though they had a lot of problems late. But they did score 41 in Cincinnati. You should be the Giants here. You're home. It's 10.5. I don't care if it's Jones or Mike Glennon. The Giants team looks just awful at this point. There's no hope for this Giants team. They just look dead on offense. I'm liking the Chargers here. It's 10.5 points. I'm really liking the spot that they're in here. I think the Giants' offense is, again, I think they can't score. It's just about whether or not the Chargers can score 20. I think with Austin Eckler and Herbert, I think they'll be able to do that. Give me the Chargers minus 10.5. The San Francisco 49ers and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 1-point favorites. Tough loss for the Niners. They did recently have a 3-game winning streak, but in this time, you can't lose any. If you want to make it to the playoffs, in this wide open playoff race that we have, you can't make any mistakes. And they made a lot of them yesterday. 10 penalties, 3 turnovers. Allowing a special teams touchdown, a mixed extra point. Just so many stupid things that cost San Francisco this game. And, I mean, gosh, you're in if you want to compete, you got to start beating Cincinnati. Or you got to start beating Seattle. They struggle so much against Seattle. They are ever since 2012, since Russell Wilson came here, they are 4-16 against Seattle. 4-16. Seattle, for the most part, has owned them. And I feel like eventually you got to figure it out here. Cincinnati, again, 1-point favorite, and they had a chance of maybe getting back in the playoffs, and they still do, but that was a tough loss to bounce back from, and again, they got to figure it out here if they want to make the postseason. Then you had Cincinnati, had a chance to really show their stuff here, to really show that they can be a legitimate contender here against the Chargers, and really didn't. A lot of injuries with this team, and you could have won 3 straight, and they've had a nice time, but yeah, there's just way too many injuries going on here right now with Cincinnati. You had Awazi and Logan Wilson both injured. You had Joe Burrow injured his pinky. And other than that, I mean, again, the injuries in this game, down 24. So it's a tough one here. I'm going to say Burrow's healthy. I'm going to say Cincinnati's healthy here. It's a tough spot here. Both teams trying to fight for a playoff spot here. Cincinnati is a point favorite. Tough opportunity. It's a tough matchup here to bet. I think Cincinnati is better. I think Cincinnati's at home. I think we're going to see more from Joe Burrow as opposed to whoever San Francisco's quarterback is. We're going to see, whether Jimmy G, we're going to see just a little bit more here from Cincinnati. I think the defense silenced San Francisco here a little bit. It's going to be tough, and I think San Francisco will make a bunch of mistakes here in this game. Tough matchup, interesting matchup to pick, but I'm going to say Cincinnati in a slight edge, -1. Cincinnati takes it. Give me the Bengals, -1. The Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. The Packers are 13-point favorites. This is the time for Green Bay to do it because it's Chicago. I mean, Andy Dalton, 4 picks, ties his career high. But yeah, some of them went off his receivers' hands. Just a bad day at the line of scrimmage for Chicago. I'm looking at it here. Dalton's picks led to 23 of Arizona's points. Chicago has now lost 6 of their last 7. It's just a rough spot here. And they didn't play horrible in this game, but they did score 22. But they ran into an Arizona team that was back, and there was nothing that was going to do that was going to stop them there. Green Bay, they're coming off a bye, so that's very, very important for them. And they just dropped 36 on the Rams, who were trying to build together this great team, and we saw a little bit of that great team on Sunday. And yeah, Rodgers just continues to step it up here. He plays so well for the most part. Now they have a bye week. And you can hope that you can bring back Randall Cobb. David Bakhtiari might be returning from last season's ACL tear. You could also see Jari Alexander and Darius Smith come back. So there's a lot of guys who've been beat up for Green Bay who might come back here in this game, so that's going to help them. Green Bay knows they're in a very difficult spot if they want to hang in here. 2 road games remaining. They need to keep winning, but thankfully they have 2 road games, and one of them is against Detroit, so that's probably a win there. Their toughest matchup, though, it will be Baltimore, December 18th, so they need to pull that out. Green Bay is a 13-point favorite. Chicago is not a very good football team, and Green Bay just keeps winning. And we've seen the dynamic of Rodgers' offense here, and so I say in this game we're going to see it again. Green Bay's 13 points. It's a lot. It's a big number, but it's Aaron Rodgers against a divisional opponent in December at Lambeau. I think all of that lines up for a Packers win here. Give me the Packers minus 13. And Monday night, the Los Angeles Rams take on the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 3-point favorites. It's a tough one because we saw the Rams team. Okay, it's against Jacksonville, but we saw the Rams team that, like, okay, that's the kind of Rams team that can compete. We saw Matthew Stafford throwing the ball well to Cooper Kupp. We saw him score a touchdown to OBJ. We saw the defense produce two turnovers in this game, and it was like, okay, that's the kind of Rams team that we expect here. That's the kind of Rams team that we want. Without Robert Woods in this game, they were able to show what they can do. The problem is, can they do that more, and can they do that against better teams? Because, the Rams have struggled against top teams outside of beating Tampa Bay this year. They fell to the Cardinals earlier this year. So this is the chance to do it. But the Cardinals are really good. Kyler Murray's back. He showed us what he can do on Sunday. And he missed 3 games, and he looked like Kyler Murray again. And now we got to figure out, if can the Cardinals hang on to that number 1 seed? Can they get that number 1 seed here? And they have a very good schedule coming up. They do have the Rams and the Cowboys, which are going to be a little tough, but they got a good schedule apart from that. And we'll see what Arizona does here now in this game here. You got Kyler Murray back. You got the team looking good. You got the offense really rolling. I say in this game, in this matchup, we see the dynamic Arizona offense. We see them deliver. We see them pull it out. It's a 3 points, small number there, and I'm liking Arizona in here in this game. I think Arizona's one of the best teams in the NFC. I think they're better than the Rams right now. The Rams are too inconsistent for me to pick here, so I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm liking the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals minus 3. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be back tomorrow to break down the Bills-Buccaneers game. Have more videos throughout the week. Hope to see you guys then. Take care and God bless.